Welcome to Finest Work Songs. My name is Matt.
My name is also Matt.
Matt, before we jump into another classic album,
Sure.
Got any updates for us?
Actually, I do. Things these days can be tough. You know, there's conflict going on all over the world. Gas prices are historically high. And when you get to like our age, there are few good surprises in life, anymore. It's always nice when something kind of falls in your lap and it just gives you hope and it gives you something to look forward to. And I got an email like that yesterday.
Oh,
I want to share with you. Yeah.
That's nice.
It's from Arby's. And it says, get ready. And it's got 2 siren emojis, which that's good.
Oh.
We've got a juicy secret, it says. Something big is coming to Arby's.
They're going to let us know what's really in the beef.
Yeah, that's right. Something big is coming to Arby's. They can't let the cat out of the bag yet. Well,
Ew.
they didn't say cat.
Oh.
So don't do, yeah, that was me extrapolating. But on Monday, May 23rd, it says... All we can say is it's an announcement worthy of our reputation and a first for Arby's.
What do you think that is?
Oh, man.
By the time this podcast
We will
released,
have found out.
We'll be living in a new world.
Birds will be chirping.
Yeah. Or not.
Or
'Cause
not.
It may be that
Chicken.
they're serving bird. Man, what do you think it is? Are they going hamburger? Are they dropping the roast beef? Like, what could it be?
It's a bit bold statement.
Yeah.
I'm just really honored I was on that list to get that
I
announcement.
didn't get it.
Hey, I know people.
Yeah, you
The
do.
new sauce for the
I
roast
hope
beef.
it's not just something dumb like that.
They introduced like their own wacky Mountain Dew flavor.
Right.
Yeah.
I want it to be like a foot-long hot dog, but the hot dog is just rolled up fulls of beef. They just start shaping things with beef. What if you ordered like an ice cream cone? Like the...
Soft serve.
Yeah, the soft serve,
Yeah.
but it's just like...
Just beef.
Beef just rolled.
Pressed beef. Just
Yeah.
coming out of a soft serve machine.
Maybe that's what it is. It's you serve your own. You do the soft serve and the beef comes out into your hand. You're like, thank you.
We can hope.
I'm dying to know what it is.
I know.
Where'd the name Arby's come from?
So,
Oh,
RB.
RB.
Roast beef.
Roast beef.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure that is the first time that I've realized that.
I realized that about 2 months ago. So, yeah, don't feel bad.
Wow.
When you Finest Work fans, you come to this show for scintillating, in-depth music talk.
That's right.
And you get fast food restaurant tips.
Stay for the beef.
Yeah, you are
Thanks to our
welcome.
sponsor, Beef.
You're welcome.
We do talk music here
Yeah, occasionally.
at Finest Work Songs. But before we do that, we like to spend a little time with you, the fans.
We have such good fans. We have such good listeners. We love getting emails from Finest Work fans. Occasionally, we like to read some of them on a little segment we call Kenny Gmail. This Kenny Gmail comes from Mallory Direct at yahoo.com. And Mallory writes, great work. This is the kind of info that are supposed to be shared around the net. Disgrace on Google for now not positioning this published upper. Come on over and consult with my site. Thanks.
And what is her site?
Her site is ifashionstyles.com.
Oh, again?
Not fashionstyles.com.
I thought-
have we done iFashionstyles?
Is it like eyes and eyeball?
I, just the letter I.
Oh, okay. Okay. Under lifestyle. Oh, cool hobbies to try with your boyfriend.
Oh,
Let's see what they got here.
okay, that should be good. Is that like puzzles, model airplanes?
Why not join a gym together?
Sure.
Get a golfing buddy. It says sometimes playing badly and having fun in games on the course is all it takes to rekindle your spark.
Oh,
Beer.
is beer a hobby?
Apparently. You like beer. He likes beer. What's the problem?
Sounds like a win-win to me.
Gosh. Play rock guitar. Come on. Boys love pretending they are a rock star.
We haven't had as much time with each other as we'd like to with kids and life, but how about we do some rock guitar together?
Hey, babe, I was thinking of, we could, beer. Thanks, Mallory.
Thank you, Mallory. This Kenny Gmail is in relation to our Bob Dylan Blood on the Tracks Epipod with our resident Bob Dylan expert, Dwayne Davis.
Yeah, let's see what they have to say about Bob Dylan.
This comes from Kareen.quilty@gmail.com. I think Dwayne will be able to help us with this one. You might have to get him to write in a little bit later, but it says, you are looking for free backlinks, then you came to the right place. We offering you a free trial to try out our link building service. This can be used to link out to your website, Interpage, Google Map, to any link you want to help power up and get more relevance to. Free test here. So it's really nice.
Bob Dylan does stay relevant.
Sure.
Sounds like maybe he's been building links on his inner page.
Maybe so. Yeah, his inner page, his Google map, because I bet he probably wants like a real-time map
of where he
is, so people know where he is at all times.
You just watch this little dot wandering a street, just like the time he got arrested for appearing homeless.
Yeah, right.
Bobby D.
Building some backlinks.
All right. I don't know what backlinks are, but
I think it might be like you're trying to get people to your website from other ways. It's not clickbait, but it's kind of like plans for the summer. You click this and then it ends up getting you back to. So yeah, I guess it is clickbait. Yeah. Saying it out loud. So there you go. Thanks to everyone who sends in emails to us. We can't answer them all, but we do our best and keep them coming. And we just love engaging with the fans. So if you have a Kenny Gmail you'd like, send it to us at finestworksongs@gmail.com.
Before we get started, we always like to begin with our memories. Matt, what is your memory of David Bowie?
Probably my earliest memories going back to MTV and videos for Modern Love. I remember seeing that one. And then I remember the David Bowie, Mick Jagger Dancing in the Street video, which is one of the best videos of all time.
Yeah.
Especially when someone did the quote-unquote vocals only version a few years ago.
Yeah, if y'all haven't seen that, first of all, watch the video. If you haven't seen
watch the video first. Watch the real video.
Watch the vocals only.
I don't have like deep-seated memories of David Bowie, but can't get away from David Bowie, and you can't escape the genius of what all he was able to produce. So diving into this album this week has been a lot of fun for me because it's like listening to a band for the first time in a lot of ways for me. So it's been fun. What about you? What's your memory of David Bowie?
Matt, I grew up on a farm. Don't know if you knew that.
I did not.
My dad raised pigs.
Okay.
There was a litter of piglets, and my dad let me keep the runt.
Okay.
To raise it.
Sure.
And I treated him like a pet, and I named him Wilbur.
Oh.
But then my pet was sold to my uncle for slaughter one day. But I would go visit every day. I'd go take care of the pig. My uncle let me do that. The other barn animals didn't really take to him, and so he was lonely.
Was he a bit of an asshole?
He was the annoying guy.
Yeah.
He'd see the cows. He'd be like, "Hey, man, milking hard or hardly milking, am I right?" He'd see,
He'd do the whole like, hey, zippers down. They look down and boink.
Yeah.
Like, gotcha.
This pig was always walking around.
Strutting around.
He's like being like, "Hey, you got tickets to the gun show?" He was like a bro pig. But he did find a friend. A patient barn spider.
Tale as old as time.
He finds out he's going to be slaughtered and doesn't want to die. And so the spider begins to help him.
Okay.
And she writes messages in the webs. And
like a crazy uncle writing messages on the webs. You won't believe what the deep state's not telling you.
She was going to write a message, So he's like, "Why don't you write shots on me?" And she's like, "No, I don't think that's going to be." He's like, "Why don't you put like, what's up?" She's like, "Man.
That's not going to endear you to people or anyone."
She's like, "I was thinking more something like mysterious."
Mm-hmm.
And so she wrote, "Some pig." The farmer comes out, drops his pail.
Yep.
What the heck? It's like some alien spider from Mars is like come down and writing messages. The pig was like, "Bro, speaking of spiders from Mars, have you heard David Bowie's backing band, Spiders from Mars, on the album Ziggy Stardust?" And the farmer was like, "You could talk."
Yeah, I mean, all this time.
But then, my uncle got really into Bowie. He was farming, but he'd paint the lightning bolt on his face.
Sure.
And, all glammed out.
Put glitter all over his body.
He played that album, and that's how I got into it.
What I never understood about that story, I mean, about your story, sorry.
Right. Yeah.
Did no one think, that pig's okay, but that spider is pretty freaking remarkable?
That's like everybody being like, "We got to meet this Billie Jean."
Yeah,
because,
right.
Sure, that's a fine song, but where's Billie Jean, man?
Right.
No, but seriously, my Bowie memories, like yours, early 80s Bowie.
Yeah.
Later, you find out how cool he is.
Right.
At the time, he's just dancing in the street.
Giant suits and David Byrne looking kind of outfits.
Yeah.
And
this album for me was a COVID album.
Okay.
During that crazy time that we're kind of still in. But
you're like, the world's going to end.
Yeah.
So I need something to relate to. Maybe some alien rock star can come cure all this.
Come
COVID.
save us.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about it.
Nice. Very good.
Well, let's jump in. The rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars begins with 5 years. It takes a little bit to get going, so we're going to jump to the best part, which is really when he gets to sing in the chorus. We got 5 years. That's what the aliens come down to tell us. We got 5 years left, and he's going to save the day.
The clock is ticking.
Really cool opening to a concept album.
Yep.
It's slow, slowly builds into this. What we heard there is him screaming.
Early on, as I've listened to 5 years, it really reminds me, from the chord structure and the kind of sparsity of the piano early on, of God by John Lennon.
God is a concept by which we measure our pain.
I hadn't really thought about it until now, but you've got a song by Lennon about God, and he's got quite a few songs of wondering and doubting. And then you've got this David Bowie song about the world's going to end, and there's this alien God is coming to save the world.
That's cool. I had not made that connection. But also hearing God, you hear that chord progression. It sounds like every other late 50s doo-wop.
And there's a lot of that in Ziggy Stardust.
That also shows the brilliance of people like Lennon and Bowie, is they take this chord structure, and when you hear it, you don't think like, oh, this is some generic.
Yeah, oh, it's been done.
The same building blocks that everybody else, but they make really beautiful songs. Okay. What is the Earth going to die of? Does it tell us?
I don't know if we ever really find out, do we?
Apocalypse?
Maybe that's not the important part of it. It's how people deal with it.
I mean, it's the story of Ziggy Stardust.
Right.
His rise and fall.
Yep.
I love the part we played towards the end where he's screaming it. I mean, you could hear the passion.
And his voice cracks a little bit.
The producer, Ken Scott, said that Bowie was often a one or two takes. He'd set the levels and then go. He said that this was a one take.
Wow. That
even at the end of it, he was like tears rolling down his face and as he's screaming.
Wow.
People don't understand, man. You know, like how a singer on an album like this could go in and just nail it.
Right.
He's like the Whitney Houston of glam.
That's right. I won't say like this is, to me, one of the great album openers of all time, but what it does is it sets the stage for the story. If I remember correctly, at least the first part of 5 days is kind of from the perspective of a child hearing the news. The world's going to end. We've got 5 years.
This is from an interview in 1973 from Rolling Stone. Bowie says, Ziggy was in a rock and roll band and the kids no longer want rock and roll. There's no electricity to play it. Ziggy's advisor tells him to collect news and sing it because there is no news. So Ziggy does this, and there's terrible news. Oh, thanks, David. That really clears up everything.
Now it's all
my God,
crystal clear.
There's always impending doom art.
Yep.
We really came into that with all the zombie stuff.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Like
and the apocalypse.
Peak zombie era.
Kids, we didn't have all that apocalyptic stuff.
No.
Growing up, we didn't have the zombie stuff.
I think with like zombies recently, this must have been kind of an underlying fear or thought at one point as well, because there's at least one other science fiction apocalyptic concept album that I know of. That's Mark Cohn's debut album.
Man, I am tonight, walking in Memphis.
He's like Ziggy. I've been searching like everybody else. Walking in Memphis, like just avoiding the zombies.
Yeah, just, trying to get away from zombies and aliens.
We get it, Mark.
Yeah, we get it, Mark.
The goat.
No, but like Rush 2112 is a science fiction kind of apocalyptic concept album. So it's just,
oh my gosh,
wonder what it was about
the
70s science fiction and aliens. And then you move ahead to like the 2000s and it's zombies.
It seemed early on the threat was coming from outside.
Yeah.
They're exploring space and it becomes reality. And so then they start to think about like, well, what's out there?
What's
and
out
what could
there?
be coming in? And then the pessimism that arises and stays with us turns into, well, we're going to do this to ourselves. Yep. So then what does that look like?
And if you listen to what Bowie says in that interview, it's a little bit of both. It's an alien kind of outsider coming to save it, but it's, we've done it to ourselves.
Yeah, the environment, apparently.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Even though there's a lot of talk about global warming and everything, like all the literature and stuff seems to be more, and the movies seem to be more some disease that results in zombies. I actually really enjoy post-apocalyptic books and movies and everything. My favorite one is Dog Stars.
Okay.
And around the same time I read Station 11. Have you read or watched the series?
I've not. You've told me about it, but I've not.
Yeah. I love Dog Stars so much that I forgot Station 11, and this was like 7 years ago. But then I watched the series, and y'all, it's on HBO Max. It is incredible. It's one of my favorite things that I've watched in a long time. Okay. It's beautiful. So that's right. I see you getting your pen out.
I'm writing down.
Write it down. Because when I told you before, you didn't take me serious. So
I didn't.
Oh, okay. You just wrote the word asshole. Great. But yeah, that post-apocalyptic stuff is pretty fascinating.
It's a fear that man has had since the beginning of time, probably.
Yeah.
Well, how would I react?
How would I react? That's right. We've talked about Red Dawn growing up. That's why we were obsessed with it, is you think, what would I do from that point on? No matter what school you're in or university, if you're an 80s kid like us, you knew where you would go when the Russians came.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, let's keep going with this post-apocalyptic
rock opera.
Yeah. Next song, track 2, Soul Love.
She kneels before the grave, her brave son, who gave his life to save a slogan that hovers between the headstone and her eyes, for they penetrate her grieving. You love a boy and girl, they're talking new words that only they can share in you. Words, a love so strong it tears their hearts to sleep through the fleeting hours of morning. Love is careless in its choosing, sweeping over cross and daily. Love descends on those defenseless. Idiot love will spark confusion. Inspirations have I none, just a touch of flaming dove. All I have is my love of love, and love is not loving.
I know how much you love saxophone in songs.
I really do.
Oh, man, there you go.
Man, that's David Bowie playing
Bowie
the sax.
on sax.
I had no idea.
That's awesome.
I like to imagine like a documentary about Bowie, and they're showing his early years, early 60s, and it's doo-wop type band, and he's there with the saxophone, but he's dressed like Ziggy Stardust, you know?
I like to think about the scene in Anchorman. David Bowie's out like at his favorite restaurant. the maitre d's like, "Come on, Mr. Bowie, get up and play us something."
Yeah.
No, I can't.
He
Then
pulls a sax out of his dress.
Yeah, that's right. Out of his star suit.
Yeah.
And just wails on it.
Aside from Starman, this might be my favorite on the album. Yeah,
Okay.
I really like it. That bass line is like Stand By Me.
Oh, yeah. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. You think Bowie, weird and innovative, and he is.
Yeah.
But so far, we've got really common song structures, which, again, I'm saying not like, oh, look what we missed.
Yeah.
It is, that's how brilliant it is to take simple things and make something really innovative.
You think Bowie, you think weird, you think experimenting and layers, and it's him and like 4 dudes making all this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a band. There's not a complex 47 people. It's just his band.
The Spiders from Mars, drummer Mick Woodmansey, and his drumming is incredible on this album. He has also played with Art Garfunkel, Matt.
Oh, well, John Oates was busy, so he had to find someone else.
That's our drummer. Bassist Trevor Boulder. He was in a band with Mark Ronson, the guitarist, called The Rats.
Ooh, that's a good early rock band name.
Yeah, it is. He played with Uriah Heep.
Okay.
What did they sing?
I don't know, but that's one of those bands that, like, you hear about all the time.
I know that name, but it's like, what did they sing? Let's look it up. Top song they have here.
My life.
I don't know this one.
I don't know that one either. Let's check out their next one. Easy Living.
Easy living, and I've been forgiven since you've taken your place in my
Now we know Uriah Heep.
Yeah.
Now you Finest Work fans know Uriah Heep, too.
Finally, we got Mick Ronson, who played with Lou Reed, including Walk on the Wild Side.
These memorable riffs are all Mick Ronson.
All right, so that's his band.
That's
Those
it.
dudes and Bowie. And Bowie writes the songs, and they came up with parts. So it wasn't even like Bowie coming in there being like, you're going to play this beat, you're going to do that. Like, that's brilliant.
Well, I didn't realize until a few years ago, too, that his birth name is David Jones. And so he couldn't, when he was getting into show business, there was already a Davy Jones, if you will.
Jones.
Yeah. These things kind of jumped out at me this week. I mean, even on Soul Love, there are parts of Bowie's voice that sound like Davy Jones of the Monkees. And it's not just because they're both British. The tenor of their voices, some of the pronunciations they make are very similar to me. But I'm a big Monkees fan, but I still think it's funny that like David Bowie had to be like, I guess I can't use my real name. There's already a Davy Jones out there. You know.
Speaking of the Monkees, he compared Ziggy Stardust to the Monkees.
Really?
Yeah. He said
In what way?
that it's a persona.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know the Monkees were called the Prefab Four?
I did.
Oh, of course you did.
I did
But
know
he
that.
said he felt that the Prefab Four were lacking compared to his creation.
Ouch.
Shots fired.
Boom.
He felt that Ziggy Stardust was more credible than the Monkees.
I know he's right when you think about just the way critics and artists are perceived over time. Yeah, Ziggy Stardust, definitely more credible than the Monkees.
Yeah.
I can't argue with that.
He probably felt like it was more pure artistic
Right.
than,
Yeah.
you know, the
A band put together
commercial
for a TV
aspect.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Bowie, that's Ziggy, that's the band. All right, we're skipping Moonage Daydream and getting down to, I'd say, the feature of the album,
Yeah.
Starman.
Didn't know what time it was, the lights were low. Oh, oh. I leaned back on my radio. Oh, oh. Some cat was laying down some rock and roll, that is all he said. Then the loud sound, it seemed to fade. Came back like a slow voice on a wave of fade. That weren't no DJ, that was hazy cosmic jive. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children lose it, let the children use it, let all the children boogie.
Starman is one of those songs that probably everyone knows that chorus and
Yeah.
has heard that chorus, and it's probably been used in countless commercials. And it was a song I didn't know that well or really listen to. I knew the chorus,
It's a chorus that you hear one time and it's so catchy.
and you never forget it. And
Yeah.
Ziggy Stardust has always been, in my mind, this really weird, far out theory and album and creative piece. But as we've said before, like at its heart, it's kind of all packaged around like 50s rock and roll. That's what they were brought
They
up
grew
on.
up
It's
on,
their DNA and music. And so when he's even talking about, let all the children boogie, you know, to me, that's like such an old fashioned kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it speaks to looking at this concept of the world ending through the lens of like kids. How would you react as a kid, and children being the future and that sort of thing.
I believe the children are the future, Matt.
Really, how can we make sure that they help us?
It's easy. You just teach them well.
Okay.
Right? And then
Okay.
you got to step back. You got to
Okay.
let them lead the way.
God,
Yeah.
that's really hard.
It is hard, but it's really our duty to show them some of, not really all of the beauty that they possess. Not our beauty.
Not ours.
No, it's not about
That's
us,
really
man.
hard.
It's about
That's
the children.
tough.
They have it inside,
Okay.
and we're to show it to them.
That was beautiful.
Anyway, back to Bowie. Matt, speaking of kind of the chords and simplicity of it, did you know he based the chorus of this on a famous song?
The melody of the chorus?
Yeah, the melody of
Okay.
the chorus.
No, Matt, the lyrics. He stole the chorus from someone else.
Here's the melody of the chorus.
There's a starman waiting in the sky.
Now, keep that in mind
Okay.
and listen to this.
Yes. God, I hear it.
You hear it?
It's obvious.
It's the same
Oh, my gosh.
thing. No, for real though.
Totes.
You got the melody of the chorus.
Yep.
Don't need to play it
Yep.
again.
Nope.
Okay.
It's locked in.
All right. This is what he based it on.
Baby, I've been searching like everybody else.
Yes.
Can't say
God.
nothing different about myself.
Oh, sorry. That's just the goat.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I mean, every chorus from henceforth has been based on that.
Everybody's chasing that true
They
companion,
are
man.
chasing that.
All right. Okay. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Isn't that cool?
that's amazing.
Well, they both do that octave jump.
Yeah.
One author says that whereas Over the Rainbow used its cathartic rise to introduce a refrain that was emotionally and melodically expansive, that leap in Starman ba-da, was followed by a more uncertain melody, reflecting his character's innate lack of confidence. So that's kind of cool because it does.
Yeah.
It's a little like wobbly
It's a little clunky.
in a cool way,
Yeah.
but it doesn't stay in this like super major, predictable
Right. Yeah, you're right.
melody.
As soon as you started playing that, I was like, yep, there it is.
All right, so there was a performance, Top of the Pops, in 1972, where he played Starman.
So you played it as Ziggy Stardust?
Yeah, the whole Ziggy Stardust thing.
Okay.
It says that many musicians and groups recalled seeing this performance, and it was like life-changing. It was like a Beatles on Ed Sullivan, but for musicians.
Right.
Here are people who cite this as being really influential. That performance on Top of the Pops. Boy George, Adam Ant, Mick Jones, Morrissey, and Johnny Marr, Susie Sue, John Taylor and Nick Rhodes of Duran Duran, Depeche Mode, and Noel Gallagher.
You list all those musicians and completely makes sense.
Yeah.
In all different ways. I mean, you've got the glam and glitz, Duran Duran. You've got the sort of moodiness and
Robert Smith.
I mean, it's...
Yeah. He says that everyone of my age remembers the time he played Starman on Top of the Pops. Bono. He said it was like a creature falling from the sky. Americans put a man on the moon. We had our own British guy from space with an Irish mother. Okay, thanks, Bono.
Not really pertinent to the story, but
I had to
thanks
throw
anyway.
it in there. Bono's like somebody who went to Harvard. You always know he's from Ireland.
I was saying earlier that I don't have this great encyclopedia of Bowie knowledge and experience, but again, like Dylan, you see his influence and you hear his influence everywhere.
Starman, recently I've been hearing it every time I go to the movies because it's in the trailer for the new Buzz Lightyear movie.
That's it.
Which I'm excited to see that.
Oh, that'll be good.
And now kids are just like my kids, when this song comes on, they're going to have a complete rebirth of it. They grew up on Toy Story, big time. Then there's this movie taking something that was childlike and expanding it to a more adult approach. I don't know what that would be like for us.
I mean, I remember when I was a little kid and there was the Porky's cartoon. And then they made the live action Porky's.
Just brought the universe to life. The Porky's universe.
Oh, man. That was amazing.
Gosh. Porky's. Get out of here, 80s. But I wonder if they'll start doing that with other kids' cartoons. You know, like Finding Nemo, and they have like they're grown up, and Nemo's like smoking. He's got a tattoo.
It's like living in a basement apartment in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Trying to start a band.
When I saw that Starman trailer, I was like, that's cool. You know, we're going to see that. And then I thought, oh, man, is this going to lead to more things like this?
It could.
If it's successful, it will.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we're going to hear Ziggy Stardust. Is this All the Young Dudes?
Ziggy played guitar, jamming good with Weird and Gilly and the Spiders from Mars. He played it left hand, but made it too far. Became the special man, then we were Ziggy's band. Ziggy really sang. Screwed up eyes and screwed down hairdo, like some cat from Japan. He could lick 'em by smiling, he could leave 'em to hang. Became on so loaded man, well hung in snow white tan. So where were the spiders while the fly tried to our bones? Well, just the beer like to guide us. So we bitched about his fans, and should we crush his sweet hands?
As good as Starman is, this is probably the biggest song from this album, right? I mean, this is the one that I tend to still hear. Maybe it's because of that guitar riff.
But this was never a single.
Was never a single?
It was never single, and yet it's ranked 277 on Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest songs. Oh, you know who else recorded this, Matt?
Who?
Let's see if you can figure out who this is. Pay close attention.
Ziggy play guitar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sing it, Darius.
I love doing that.
Honestly, like, I wondered if it was Hootie.
Did you?
Like, I thought, okay, is this Hootie?
The chord structure feels like
He's got a distinctive voice, for sure.
So Ziggy Stardust was inspired by a couple things. One is an English singer named Vince Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Bowie met him after the guy had a breakdown. He believed himself to be a cross between a god and an alien.
Sure, yeah.
So there is an influence from the legendary Stardust Cowboy.
Oh, my God.
What on earth? Okay. All right.
Wow.
It said that this guy's Norman Odom, the legendary Stardust Cowboy.
I can see why he's legendary.
It said that he is one of the pioneers of the genre psychobilly. Man, that's crazy.
That is crazy. I can't imagine, and everybody has their own thing, so I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine going like, I'm going to go listen to this for an hour and a half.
Matt, guess who was playing drums? You're not going to know. Nobody will guess.
Thanks. I appreciate your lack of confidence in me.
T-Bone Burnett.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's T-Bone Burnett on drums.
I wonder if T-Bone's just like, what am I doing with my life?
I wonder if T-Bone was producing Shania Twain and was like, I'm trying to chase that legendary Stardust Cowboy vibe. Are we ever going to review Shania Twain? Are we going to do some Garth Brooks
At least one.
or Chris Gaines? Either way.
Yeah, I mean, that's a toss-up.
Oh, gosh. It says in 1973, NASA used that song to wake up members of its space crew. The crew was allegedly so distracted from the shock over the course of the day that NASA forbade the use of the song for that purpose ever again. They banned the song from space.
Pretty ironic. I mean, you've got this legendary Stardust Cowboy, is that his name?
Yeah.
So he gets banned from being played in space, and then Ziggy Stardust is a song about a guy who comes from space. Mind blown, people.
Man, we need a palate cleanser. We're going to go to track 10, Suffragette City.
Just put my spine out of place. Hey man, my school is insane. Hey man, my work's down the drain. Hey man, well, she's a total blam blam. She said she had to squeeze it, but she won't let you. Oh, don't lean on me, man, 'cause you can't afford the ticket. Back from Suffragette City. Oh, don't lean on me, man, 'cause you ain't got time to check it. You know my Suffragette City was out of sight.
Another one of those Bowie songs that is in the ether. And does it fit the narrative of the concept album?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I know not every song is part of the story, if you will, but
According to Ken Scott, the producer, he had a Chuck Berry song, and the label said we need a hit, and so he wrote Starman. So Starman almost wasn't on the album.
Right.
Ken Scott said that without Starman, it's not a concept album. It would not have been read that way, which is hard to believe because of the earlier tracks.
Right.
The track Ziggy Stardust and Lady Stardust.
Yeah.
Interesting. How about this? He tried to give it to Mott the Hoople, provided that they don't break up. And they refused, but they took his song, All the Young Dudes.
Interesting.
I didn't know he wrote All the Young Dudes.
I don't think I knew that either, but it completely makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got that feel to it.
I don't like this song.
You know, like,
I've never, there's
is it the Hey Man? The Hey Man kind of
I
bugs
think
me
it
a
is.
little bit.
It feels like just kind of a generic 70s song.
I could see
to
that.
me.
I think the album needs a little bit of pep here and there. So I like it for that reason.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, that makes sense. All right, let's talk about Ken Scott,
Okay.
producer. He was at Abbey Road, worked his way up to be an engineer on Hey Jude, Hello Goodbye, I'm the Walrus, and on and on. Worked with Pink Floyd, Procol Harum, which I don't know they ever had an album. I just know
The one song?
one song.
Face at first, just go sleep. Turn the wider shade of pale.
That's a hell of a song.
Yeah. He worked with George Harrison on All Things Must Pass.
Wow.
Give Peace a Chance. He said initially that he didn't think Bowie had it.
Really?
And it was only when he brought demos. You know, he's having a conversation with Bowie and said, I want to move into producing. And Bowie said, I was going to self-produce, but maybe you could come and join me. Which, an album like this, you got 4 dudes creating this epic music. You got to give him credit for the production on it.
So the album comes out, and then for a while there, he performed it as Ziggy Stardust. I guess at some point he just retires the character.
And the band, apparently.
That's interesting.
All right, we've come to that point. We challenge one another. If you had to remove a song, which one would it be? So, Matt, what's David Bowie going to do?
Oh, my gosh.
David Bowie's going to show up with a saxophone and just sit near you while you're trying to work and just play sax.
Just play sax.
Yeah, if you don't remove a song from the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. If you had to, Matt, which one would it be?
Early on, I would have said It Ain't Easy because it's the one song on the album that Bowie didn't write. That's grown on me, and I kind of dig that song. For me, it would be, even though it would kind of change the narrative a little bit, it would be Lady Stardust.
And he was all right. The band was all together. Yes, he was all right. The song went on forever. Yes, he was
Yeah, that musically you call it that bridge, that little coda part there. That's Billy Joel. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. That's the thing about the beach. That's the thing about Bowie. I mean, you can't put him in a box musically, any style. I mean, normally that's cool, but in this point, Lady Stardust just too much reminds me of Billy Joel.
Yeah.
There are good Billy Joel songs, but that one too much.
It gets you.
Yeah. What about you? What song would you remove?
I would remove It Ain't Easy. Before I knew it wasn't his song, it just bugged me.
Yeah.
That chorus right there.
Right.
But then when I find out that it's not contributing to the concept of the album, it's like kind of country, don't dig it.
When I was reading through the track listing before really listening to it, and I saw there was a cover song of It Ain't Easy. I had in my mind like the one, I think Ringo does Easy or It Ain't Easy.
Yeah.
Or It Don't Come Easy.
It's Not Easy Being Ringo.
It's Not Easy Being
It's a
Ringo.
cover of It's Not Easy Being Green.
That's right. I guess his song is It Don't Come Easy. I would have preferred that because it's kind of a catchy song, but I can totally see where, like I said, that was one I thought about removing.
Now it's time for your senior quote. Your senior year, your yearbook picture's there, and you get a few lines to leave a legacy.
The students who come after you,
Yeah.
they're peering through the yearbook. Oh, what kind of wisdom and
It's wisdom,
knowledge.
it's sass,
Yep.
inside joke. It could be a myriad of things. So, Matt, from this album, what would your senior quote be?
From Ziggy Stardust, my senior quote would be from the song Star, because again, I'm thinking about it from the point of view of I'm 18, I'm leaving high school, I've got big dreams,
Yeah, you
I got
do.
big hopes. These lines, I could fall asleep at night as a rock and roll star. I could fall in love all right as a rock and roll star.
There you go.
That was pretty true for me at high school senior. I'm thinking like, maybe I'll pursue this music thing at some point and be a rock and roll star
Yeah.
someday. So,
Dreams.
yeah,
You and Stan.
chasing that dream. And here we are. What about you? What's your senior quote?
From Soul Love.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going the deep philosophical musings of an 18-year-old
Yep.
who's about to go blow everyone's mind.
Already knows everything, but is
Yeah.
getting ready to know even more.
So from Soul Love, all I have is my love of loving, and love is not loving.
Ooh,
Think
that's
on
deep.
that.
Oh, man. I need time to
Yeah,
process that.
right?
That's whew.
All right, happy 50th birthday to Ziggy Stardust. Came
Oh, yeah.
out around this time 50 years ago.
Yeah, he's aged well.
Way to go, Bowie.
Yeah, good job, Bowie.
Are you listening right now?
As always, you can engage with us on social media, whether it's Twitter and Instagram at Find Us Work Songs, or on Facebook. Check out our website, findusworksongs.com. And send us an email, finestworksongs@gmail.com. And who knows, maybe we'll read one of your emails in a future Kenny G mail.
We've only got a few more epipods.
That's
before
right.
The end of season 6.
Y'all know what that means.
That means listener's choice is coming. We'll give you more details soon. Until our next epipod, we're going to leave you with another great Bowie song.
I will be king, and you will be queen. Though nothing will drive them away, we can beat them just for one day. We can be heroes just for one day. And you,
Our theme song is by the incredible band Medium Heat. This track is called Radio, and you should check them out at mediumheat.bandcamp.com. And check out any upcoming shows if you are in the Raleigh area. They are on Facebook at Medium Heat Music.